Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Straight to all the action from Dalal Street, where the markets continue to scale new highs. The Nifty closed at record closing highs for the 15th time this year, rallying more than 1%. So let's bring those charts up for you. The Sensex closed firmly over 37,300, led by a 350-point gain, another record close for the 21st time. Broader markets rallied in line with the benchmarks today. Midcaps and Bank Nifty rallied close to 1%, with the Bank Nifty also ending at record closing highs. Surbhi Upadhyay joins us now with the highlights of today's trading action. Surbhi, the bulls continue to scale new peaks.
Well, it's been a fantastic Friday for the bulls, an emphatic stamp coming in on the way the market has moved today. The good aspect was that there was a lot of follow-through today. It was a strong day of trade right from the start to the finish, and wide participation as well. In fact, that's been the hallmark of trade this week, that mid-caps have started coming back. A case in point would be the way the indices have moved. The Nifty is up 2.5%, but the mid-cap index is up 4%. The Nifty Junior is up almost 6%. The other highlight of trade today, and of course through the week, has been the return of interest in a lot of the financials, particularly corporate sector banks. Let me actually drill this down by talking about the stocks themselves. So if you talk about the big leaders of today's bull charge, then along with financials, you'll of course find an ITC right on top. Smart mover, gain of about 5% coming through. ICICI Bank, ahead of its numbers, was very, very resilient, and Reliance Industries approached the earnings with a 2% up move as well. Financials in general have been doing extremely well. So along with ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, the likes of IndusInd Bank, even a Bajaj Finance for that matter, and HDFC, most pockets of the financials are doing well. The Nifty Bank, of course, hit an all-time high as well today. So that's been the strength of the rally. Beyond the financial universe, if we talk about other key gainers, then Hindalco received the Aleris deal very well, with the stock gaining about 3% thereabouts. Tata Motors had a good session, as did Titan from the Tata Group. On the losing end, we had some names like Dr. Reddy's, but there are some concerns about the US business post the earnings. And the erstwhile leaders seem to be taking a bit of a break. I'm talking about the likes of Bajaj Finserv and TCS. These were stocks that had a bit of red on them today. Lots of earnings reactions coming through in the mid-cap market, and several very good ones at that. In fact, if I could just name some of the stocks, Westlife with very smart same-store sales growth was up in double digits. Biocon managed about a 4% up move, 5% up move. Philips Carbon is another case in point, 6% on the higher side. The biggest earnings disappointment today perhaps was Cholamandalam, with the stock ending down about 5%. Last but not the least, even beyond earnings, there's been a lot of palpable excitement in the market today. So big stocks moving on big volumes and price action. India Cements would be an example, 5% up. Castrol and Canfin Homes can be counted in. Strong week and a strong day that belong to the bulls.
Right now, it is time for us to take a short break. But as we slip into a commercial break, here's the latest from our special series, Get Schooled. Excerpts of Shireen Bhan's interaction with the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, Manish Sisodia. He is also the Education Minister of Delhi. Take a look.
Arvind Kejriwal's Aam Aadmi Party often captures the headlines for its confrontation with the Lieutenant Governor and the centre. But it does also occupy space and the imagination for the efforts that it's put in to the education and the healthcare sector. We decided that it was imperative for us to actually come to a school to understand what are the changes on the ground. I'm going to put all of those questions to the Delhi Education Minister, Finance Minister and Deputy Chief Minister, Manish Sisodia.
We are investing a lot. When we came to power, it was 9 crore odd for teachers training. Now they are spending 102 crore on overall teacher training programs.
From 9 crores to 102 crores.
Yeah.
Indian CEOs are confident about their company's prospects in 2018. They are equally confident about the global economy, but a little less confident about the Indian economy. This is the key finding of the KPMG survey conducted among top CEOs across sectors. Now, the survey was conducted from January to February this year, and it involved over 1,300 CEOs across 11 countries and industries. Here are the key findings from the Indian CEOs who are among those that were surveyed. An overwhelming 91% are either very confident or confident about their company's prospects. This optimism drops a little bit when asked about the prospects of their industry. Nonetheless, over 80% are hopeful about their industry's growth trajectory. When asked about the prospects of the global economy, a majority of nearly 90% are either very confident or confident. But this level of optimism drops considerably when asked about the prospects for the Indian economy. 31% of CEOs said they were neutral, and the remaining 69% remain confident of the Indian economy. So how are Indian CEOs targeting growth? Mergers and acquisitions are certainly not in vogue. A majority of 82% have either low or moderate appetite for M&A. There are more such interesting findings on what top CEOs make of the economy and the country's prospect. A special show is coming up at 7 p.m. only on CNBC TV18. All eyes are on Reliance Industries, which will announce its first quarter numbers this evening. Sonia Shenoy joins us with what to expect from the conglomerate, which owns businesses across sectors like energy, retail and telecom. Sonia, over to you.
Well, thanks for that. It has been a very strong year for Reliance Industries. It has re-entered the $100 billion market cap club. The stock is up over 20% this year and is at a record high. So the scope for disappointment is limited. In that context, the two verticals that are expected to positively surprise are telecom and retail. The bread and butter businesses, let me just take you through the expectations. The petchem business is expected to do well. It did well last quarter, and that trajectory is expected to continue. That will be offset by the weakness in the refining business. So the gross refining margins for the company are expected to peter off to $10.50 a barrel versus $11 last quarter. That's because the Singapore gross refining margins have been under pressure at a 7-quarter low, coming in at $6.1 a barrel. That's about the refining business. But on the petchem business, it's expected to be quite strong. The volumes are expected to grow 2.2% on a quarter-on-quarter basis, coming in at 4.5 million tons. This compares to 4.4 million tons last quarter. Now, the reason for that is the ramp-up that we've seen in production from two of their units, ROGC and PX. Because of the strong petchem business being offset by the weak refining business, the overall numbers are expected to be flat on a quarter-on-quarter basis. EBITDA is expected to go up by just 1.8%. Profits are expected to go up by 1.4%. On the telecom vertical, there is an expectation that the profits will be higher than what they did last time around. Last quarter, they saw 510 crores of profits. This quarter expected to be 700 crore plus, and the subscriber base has also risen. Retail business also expected to grow to about 25,000 crores of revenues. Back to you.
All right, Sonia, thank you so much for that. But standard disclaimer, Reliance Industries owns Network 18, which owns CNBC TV18, the channel that you are watching. Moving on to a CNBC TV18 exclusive, the Parliamentary Estimates Committee is expected to summon top bankers once again to discuss the issue of bad debt. Remember, earlier this month, the panel had summoned RBI Governor Urjit Patel and key finance ministry officials along with the heads of some banks to respond to queries on non-performing assets. Parikshit Luthra, who broke this story earlier today, joins us with more. Parikshit, why is the panel summoning top bankers again?
Well, the panel wants to know clearly how were these loans which have become NPAs, how they were granted, who were the directors on the board. They want the minutes of the meeting. They want to understand who was the government nominee on the board who gave his approval, what was the response of the government when this loan process was being granted. So they really want to discuss and go through the entire loan approval process threadbare. So there could be tough questions coming for top bankers in the days to come. So we have heard from top sources in the Estimates Committee that in the next few days they would be getting evidence from various public sector banks. At the same time, what Arvind Subramaniam, the chief economic advisor, told the panel some weeks ago was extremely crucial, because he said Raghuram Rajan had identified the problem some years back. So here's what the Estimates Committee would like to know now. What did Raghuram Rajan do with that information? What kind of changes did the RBI make at that point in time to resolve the crisis? Did he inform the government? What did the government do about it? So as Mr. Raghuram Rajan is no longer in office, we believe the present RBI governor could be called in the next couple of weeks to understand what was done at that point in time. But very clearly, the estimates committee is looking at various people involved in this process. It has already summoned Hasmukh Adhia, other top banking officials, and all of them have been asked about this loan granting process. So as far as the submission of this report is concerned, that could take some time because evidence is still being collected. But in the next couple of weeks, we could see top bankers, the RBI governor being summoned.
All right, Parikshit, thank you so much for those details. From one exclusive to the other big exclusive from the insurance space, the IRDA has waved the green flag to PNB MetLife's IPO proposal. We also understand the company is likely to launch the IPO by the end of September. Yash Jain gets us more details. Yash, what will the company's valuation be post the proposed IPO?
Well, Arundhati, before I come to the valuation, of course, to be precise, the fourth life insurance company to get listed on the exchange is expected to happen by the end of current calendar year. And interestingly, again, coming from a bank as its parent company, what we are given to understand is that the insurance regulator, IRDA, has approved the IPO proposal when it comes to PNB MetLife. The company is also expected to file its DRHP with market regulator SEBI in the next 14 days, which is in the next 2 weeks, and also launch this particular IPO sometime by September end this year. As far as valuation is concerned, we are given to understand that PNB MetLife has an embedded value of about 2100 to 2500 crore, and through this IPO it would be commanding a valuation of slightly over 10,000 crore, which is essentially 4.5 times price to embedded value. As far as selling shareholders are concerned, here we are given to understand that the parent bank, which is Punjab National Bank, would be diluting up to 10% via this particular proposed public offer, as well as other shareholders, including the listed company Elpro International to Jammu and Kashmir Bank, as well as M. Palunji Group, are likely to dilute their stake via this particular public issue. Importantly, of course, this issue will be very important to Punjab National Bank because the bank requires capital at this point of time. But along with Punjab National Bank, another company to which the IPO would be very crucial would be Elpro International. Just to help you understand how important that would be, Elpro's market cap at the moment stands at around 900 crore, but its stake in PNB MetLife is about 1100 crore. So from the point of value accretion and value unlocking, this IPO would be very important for Elpro International. But we'll of course have to see when does the company get that money and how does the company really plan to use the proceeds going forward.
All right, Yash, many thanks for those details. A quick look at some of the other headlines that we're tracking for you today. The central government has refused to revise its formula for the one rank, one pension scheme. This comes in response to a petition filed in the Supreme Court by an association of ex-army men. The centre has said that any change in the scheme would lead to financial implications. The Supreme Court has given the government 4 weeks to formally respond to the PIL. One of the two main accused in the Punjab National Bank scam, Mehul Choksi, has claimed that he had lawfully applied to be a citizen of Antigua and Barbuda long before allegations against him surfaced. A statement issued by Choksi's attorney on his behalf says that his application for citizenship was driven by the desire to expand business in the Caribbean. Antigua is among the many Caribbean tax havens and does not have any extradition treaties with India. Regarding his return to India, Choksi says he will not because he fears mob lynching. And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of After the Bell. But before we go, we leave you with what the world is going to experience, the longest blood moon eclipse of the 21st century today. The eclipse is going to last for more than 1.5 hours, and it will be visible from all parts of India.
Brought to you